credit card? You got it.
Hello and welcome back to another video, and for me some toys are just iconic. They are retro toy royalty, and amongst those I would probably put the Tiger Deluxe Talkboy. It just has everything from that 90s era. For those who aren't familiar with it, Home Alone 2, which was released, I think it's 1993, I think it's the same year this came out, featured basically a prop made by Tiger Toys. And in it, Kevin, Macaulay Culkin, has one of these in his hands, and he's at the hotel. He's ringing up the hotel, and he puts a voice changer on and says something along the lines of, "I'd like a room, please, with a big bed." Now that was just a prop in the movie to get to do the voice changing, so he could talk to the hotel and impersonate his dad. Then after the movie came out and it was such a success, Tiger then actually released the item as an actual toy. The first one just being the Talkboy, and that had the ability to play, etc. and record, but it didn't have the speed change that actually featured in the movie. They came out later on with the Deluxe Talkboy, and then from there the whole premise of being able to record, speed up and slow down in the simplest way to change the voice, then spiral off into a load of other bits of merchandise. There was pens and all sorts of bits and bobs, and I've actually dug out one of my items, which is this one here. So here's another one. This is the Tiger Talkboy watch, a couple of sounds, and then I've recorded a clip from the movie actually here, so you can play that. And again, so that kind of premise was all in the merchandise. So what we're going to look at here is these three. So this one is mine. It's the Deluxe Talkboy, because obviously I like the speed change. I've also got a Deluxe Talkboy cassette. I'm not sure what version this is, because I've seen different versions stuff on here. So in fact this says 1997, so I think this was like an older, like a later version, because all of these are 1993. So I've been keeping my eye out for one of the original tape cassettes. But anyway, this is mine here, and I previously did a repair on it. I don't think I videoed it, so I have been in one of these before. It was just a long time ago. I remember little things like it was hidden screws like here, and very thin wires inside. I had to go in and change one of the speakers. But what I'll do is, that was mine. I'll talk us round it. This one I've just bought. I think it was sold as working. The person had it, but it was untested. And then this one had some problems, so playback was distorted. You had to hold down the play button slightly to get it to work, and they said they hadn't tested record. Possibly, you know, not a lot of people have blank tapes these days. So we'll basically demo mine. I'll talk through a few things, and then we'll get into those two and see if we can get those two working well. So what you have on these is essentially a tape deck at the front. All of this is just a weird aesthetics. Like I don't know what they were really thinking with these kind of cutouts, like pipes that were vanishing and stuff. You've got your speaker here. Inside you just basically have a cassette deck, and what I noticed on these two were that this one and this one actually had the same deck, but that one's slightly different. I'll have a look at the differences in a second. On the top, stop, fast forward, rewind, play, record. On the rear, they're really quite large. Like when you get hold of them, I thought they were going to be smaller, maybe because of the size of the watch and the pens, but they are really quite large and chunky. You have your handle at the back. This is your microphone, which actually extends out like so. And then on the side you've got headphones and volume, and then finally, once you're then playing back, you can then have it at on, off, or slow speed. So evidently it doesn't actually go faster like my watch. You can only go slower or on. And then I remember one thing when I got this one working. What I found was I got it working so that when I recorded myself on here, saying like hello 1 2 3, played it back, To then get it to go slowly, I had to kind of adjust the speed, and then it would go 1, 2, 3. But when I put in a normal tape cassette, like a music cassette, that wasn't, my normal speed wasn't playing at the normal speed for a tape cassette. So it would kind of only really function to record stuff but not play back music. And I never really knew if that was how it was meant to be, whether they actually played at the normal speed normally or not. It was like the only way I could get it to work. So the differences that I spotted, and then I'll demonstrate that. I'll record onto this one here, and the differences I spotted are obviously the Deluxe Talkgirl comes in this pinky purple colour. This one's got a little bit, it looks like someone's left it against a radiator or something, a bit of damage there, not too bad. I'll sort the cosmetics out after we get them working. Obviously you've got your different colour schemes on here, but practically the same. And then you have kind of a flower petal in the eye of girl. Like, as I mentioned, the tape mechanism seemed the same. Your volume and headphones have swapped place on those two. Yeah, nothing else different on there. Really nice this one here. Well, I mean, you know, the 90s and early 2000s, but really the 90s were all about having everything in a transparent things. If you think about the N64s that came out and other items. Difference here, I've spotted it's got Tiger on here. Really nice colour scheme. These two, yeah, I think that was, no, that's the same. Everything was the same on top again, just a different colour scheme. That's all moving. Same here. It's got the same as the Talkgirl for the layout there. And then in all of them you've just got your information in there, so it's saying 1992, 20th Century Fox Films, 1993 for Tiger Electronics. That's probably going to be the same on here. This saying 1992, 1993, just in there. Okay, so first things first, I'll demonstrate my Talkboy, and I'll tell you what I mean about the speed. They all take 4 AA's. Kind of have to either pull it back or angle them in, so that's those in. So if I put in, for example, and hopefully we won't get a copyright strike, a flock of seagulls. You have to turn it on, don't you? Right, so you have to turn it on, play. See how that's really slow? And then if I do this, it slows down even more. So right now I can't play a cassette, but the point being, if I put in my Talkboy, because these are just blank, some of them I swear said it had something about voices of the actors, but if I just play this, see there's nothing on there. Right, so now what I'll do is I'll record onto here in just normal mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm just going to do a little bit more recording. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I've done that, I'll rewind it and play.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm just going to do a little bit more recording. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So you can see that's recording now and working. So if I rewind slightly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So you can see it almost sounds like Home Alone 2 when he's asking for a room with a large bed. Like it literally sounds like him in the movie. I'd love if I had a clip, and I tell you what, if I cut before I do any of these, I'm gonna have to look up the script, aren't I? So yeah, you can see what I mean. How this one wasn't playing at the right speed, but when I use the blank tape, it works. So you could record and then you could play it again, slowed down. So what we'll start doing now is having it, well, we might as well just test each of these. This one, the individual said that they just hadn't tested it, so let's just give it a go. Right, so that's our batteries in. Let's see if we're getting any life. Right, no life there. Could just be that I haven't seated them properly. What it could be is we have to turn... Oh no, we are on. Okay. Right, what I'll do is I'll just test the batteries. Some of these could be old batteries. Right, so I'll just put 6 volts in. Right, so no life on that one. Let's use the same batteries in the blue one. I'll look into that in a minute. That's a snug fit, right. So the motor on this one's turning, but there's no life. Hear that? Oh yeah, see that? If you depress it just halfway down, it does turn, but not when it's fully down. How weird. Right, so we'll see what's going on in there in a minute, but the first one I'm going to go back to, because I know the batteries work, is I'm going to put these back into here again. Just move the some of the settings around and see if I can get this one's springing to life. Yeah, I'm getting no life at all. Right, so let's start with this one. And from memory, so this one that one had a hidden screw, but this one doesn't seem to have that anymore. So I think it is just going to be as simple as these ones, and I don't think we have to worry about those just yet. There's a couple in there. So let's take these ones out. So something's holding on again up around this area. So I wonder if it's like a hidden screw right down in there. I think I've got some long ones in here for this kind of situation. Right, there we go. So it hasn't fully come out yet. A Phillips head 1, and what you can see, there's a number of very thin wires. We've got, I'm gonna say someone's been messing around in here before, because we've got trails of hot glue here, sellotape here. The spidey senses are tingling a little bit with newish sellotape, let's be honest. So first thing I want to do is find out where this power's going. Yeah, see how, and I saw this on the inside as well. See in the corner of that battery bay here, that looks suspiciously like where someone's got a soldering iron and they've tried to solder there and they've touched here and melted this bit of plastic. I guess the beauty is we currently have 2, so I can kind of open this one up next to it and it'll give us a bit of a better idea where some of this wiring is supposed to be going, because we're not getting anything out of it, are we? So that's a real shame. So let's look at the other one. Certainly a bit different, isn't it? There's an absence of all this glue everywhere. But yeah, that's how it should look. Right. I mean, that's hanging on by a well. And there's one issue there, isn't it? Look at that. That's actually completely frayed off. So let's try putting some power onto this. Right, so the motor's moving now. So that arrived with that power disconnected. So what I need to do is very carefully, because there's not much left on here, and like I say, this one trails and it vanishes up inside there. It's really hard to get hold of. What I'm going to do is very carefully take that wire back. I mean, you can see how short it is to there. And then I'm going to put in a new wire to the power. And then I think we're going to have to be extremely careful with everything in here, how it's all been stuck down. As long as we can get it working, get it like stable, that's what we're after. So it's being a little reluctant to take the solder because of the state of the wire. So I'm just using the solder to essentially strengthen that bit there, almost put a layer of extra metal onto it, make that bit nice and stiff, and then what I'm then going to do is wrap this bit around just whilst it's curled, and I'll wrap this around here and then I'll solder it all together, so we should get a much better join there. There, so as you can see, or maybe not. I've been quite liberal on there, so that's like quite a nice firm joint there. If I was being a real perfectionist, I'd have put heat shrink on there and then heated it up, but that I was just more concerned with that joint there. So what I'll now do is just use some of the Kapton, it's Kapton, isn't it? Kapton tape. There, I've just gone reasonably far past each ends of the solder just to keep all of that together. Now I'm going to solder in the other end down here. Right, so that's through, which gives us a bit of a mechanical lock on there now. Lovely, that won't be going anywhere. And we can just double check that now by applying our bench power again. Just onto here instead. And it's moving. Lovely. Okay, so let's just see if we can get if we're getting sound and stuff out before we have to go in and start changing belts and things like that. So let's close it up. So as you can see, it's now moving, normal and slow. I've got a flock of seagulls in there and we are getting nothing from the speaker. So yeah, back inside and we'll see if we can spot anything else. Bring our comparison. This is really poor, whoever's done this. Should you get a crackle? Should you hear anything if you're applying power on the speaker? Yeah, you would, because I'm not on this one. That's right, so putting power onto it, I hear nothing at all. Now, is this speaker gone? Let's see if we've got another spare speaker. Can't remember if this one's still good or not. Okay, at least it's making a noise at ground power, so I'm going to just take off those leads and stick them onto this speaker and see if we get anything. There we go. So this one had a power lead disconnected and the speaker didn't work either. So let's remove those. This is a good size speaker, it's probably going to go like for like, so I'm going to remove that, stick this in, and we'll keep going. There we go, nice and snug. That's not going anywhere. And we'll reattach this as well. And it sounded okay. This is where, right, so this, a little top tip, this is when you're doing a repair and you're deciding whether to push your luck or not. So if I start taking this off now and trying to fine tune the sound, going for the belt, there's a chance that some of these wires are going to start falling off, and I've no idea where they're going to come from because they're under this this plastic. Some of these are quite thin. So right now I'm making the decision to put it back together and just see how close to functioning we are. Play. Right, so that's working, and it actually, so that answers my other question, which is you can get them to play at the sound they're supposed to be playing at, unlike mine. So now we need to see if we can get anything recording on this. Anything recording? 1, 2, 3. Anything recording? 3, 2, 1. Testing. Can you hear that? We're just getting like static. We're not actually picking up on anything. All I'm going to do is, because it could be the microphone, there was a couple of loose wires in there. I don't want to take that other side apart. It's not going to be worth it. If we can get something that can play a tape cassette that at least plays and rewinds, so it's some use to someone, that would be a bit better than me completely ruining everything. So basically what I'm trying to do is, the only thing I can really think of is I've got my power going in now. There's this yellow one that goes into here somewhere. There's this blue one as well. And this blue one has just got a whole length of exposed wire, and then it goes under this blob of hot glue. I don't know where that yellow one's going either. So I'm just literally going to have a look at these two blue wires and just see if soldering them back onto the point properly does anything, and if not, fingers crossed everything else still works and we just call it quits there. One, two, three. This is the final test with the pink deluxe Talkgirl to see if this has made any difference to the microphone. No difference. You can hear it's trying. You've got that static. It's listening. So I think maybe the microphone's possibly become detached, or there's just so much going on in there. I can't really work it out. So that's where that one will stop, and I'll cosmetically clean that up at the end. So that's been 1 hour and 40 so far after an intro. And this was supposed to be the easy one. This was supposed to be, I think the ad, what was the ad again? Owned from new. I think everything works, but maybe not record, or didn't have batteries. Was that the classic? Didn't have batteries to hand. What, like 4 AA's? Okay, so that one's put together. I'm going to take a quick breather, and then I'll have a look at the blue one, which we know so far just has a bit of a problem with pressing play, and we don't know about record yet. Right, so on to Talkboy number 2. Just had the heating on in the garage because it's freezing, and I have to turn it off for filming, otherwise actually make a load of noise. So this one we need to look at that play function, because it's only playing when it's partially depressed. Can't remember, it's been that long now, I can't remember if we tried the record or not. I think the record worked, didn't it? I think it did. Yeah, so actually you can see here all the cabling and everything's absolutely fine. So that means I'm a little bit more comfortable taking this off now, and then we'll have a look at the mechanical movement of the play button to see if something is cracked or broken or out of place or needs lubrication or something. So usually 2 of these, but maybe there's only 1. No, there's 3, isn't there? 1 there, 2 down here. So I think the way you do this is over here. So one thing we can do, because we're in here anyway, is you can see this belt is quite saggy. So we'll find one that's a slightly smaller size than that. Maybe for this one too. What we'll have to do is put some power in. Oh yeah, see that? Like, you go there and then it stops. But the motor's still turning. So I think what's happening is, as you're putting it down, there's probably more torque being applied, and that's why it's slipping. So I think if we put a smaller belt on, that'll probably alleviate the problem. So we'll get that one off. We'll do the other one too. Now those two look about right. Okay, let's give it another go. So plays this one. There we are. And where's our sound gone? Bit wobbly, but not too bad. So there we go, some fresh belts in there. It's because of the torque, so it was like when it wasn't fully on it was okay, but then when it's being fully depressed, like the stretch and the motor, it wasn't turning. So that's sorted. Nice to get any, like, well, I don't want to jinx it, I was going to say nice to get an easy one after that first one, because that was a nightmare. You know what, I just had a thought. When you do recording, when you depress this, you need to have the board down, because this mechanism gets activated, which is your recording. I'm going to try and manually override it by doing this. This is a test of the blue Talkboy 12345 54321 blue deluxe Talkboy testing. Good stuff, there we go. So it just needs a few seconds to kick in, rewind, play again, and let's try it slow. Brilliant. So I'm going to put this together, and I'm going to look up that Home Alone scene, and then I'm going to record it and I'm going to play it back on this one. So it'll probably be a jump cut for you or a fade, and then I'll see you when I record that. Right, we're back. So before I demo this one, a little bit of fun. What I've done is I've kind of looked up the Home Alone 2 scene when he's on one of these Talkboys to the hotel reception. I've recorded it on here, so we'll hear it now. And then if I play it again at slow speed, so I'll just play it now. You've got to give it a little bit of.
This is Peter McAllister, the father. I'd like a hotel room, please, with an extra large bed, a TV, and one of those little refrigerators you have to open with a key. Credit card? You got it.
So I've recorded it normally, and then obviously in the film they've actually got the actor and then just sound effects rather than, well, they didn't use one of these, but I think you'll find even with my own voice and elongating a few of the words, it's not far off the movie. It's pretty funny. So here we go.
This is Peter McAllister, the father. I'd like a hotel room, please, with an extra large bed, a TV, and one of those little refrigerators you have to open with a key. Credit card? You got it.
I mean, that's a good bit of fun, isn't it? If you were doing a scene from the movie. So yeah, I'll come on to my final summary. This was my own Talkboy that I'd done in the past. I had to do some fixing on it, so I knew my way around them a little bit. But it's probably 8 months or so ago I did one of those, maybe even a year. I wasn't sure whether or not they were supposed to play a tape at a normal speed, because when I play mine, if I put a music tape in, it doesn't work, and I had to do that to get the speeds right. And then this Talkgirl, described as being owned from new and just didn't have 4 AA's to test it. Anyway, it turns out one of the power leads was disconnected. Someone had really made a pig's ear inside. There was wires everywhere. I then also figured out the speaker had gone, so I changed the speaker, and I've managed to get it now playing tapes. So and it doesn't sound too bad, and the speed works as well. Just unfortunately I couldn't get the record to work. I think possibly the microphone, but it's a bit tricky because the leads go all the way down, so that's just as it is now. I've checked the headphones do work. It's a mono out, so you just hear it in one ear. And then finally I moved on to this one. The problem with this was I don't think record had been tested, and then it only worked partially pressing the play button down. So I managed to sort that play bit with some fresh belts because of the torque and the distances and the clearances, so that all works fine, and you just heard it playing both normal and slowed down with that funny little thing. I've also checked the headphones again. They just come out of one ear with it being mono. And yeah, also really nice condition. The transparent one's really grown on me. I just think it's super novel. For me, if I have to keep one though, I will keep my own, just because it's like the one in the movie. So I'm starting to ramble. It's been a late evening. So that was the 1993 Tiger Deluxe Talkboy. It came out in '93 because in 1992 the normal Talkboy came out of the movie, sold relatively well but didn't have the voice changer, and then they brought out the deluxe Talkboy. I'll be listing these on my eBay at some point if you'd like to purchase it, either of them. I've also got short format stuff on Instagram as well. If you did enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, comment and share as well if you'd like. It really does help me, and I'm getting pretty close to 1,000, which would mean a lot to me as well. So until the next one, all the best, take care and see ya.